When defendant Hector Casanova complains that he's in court under threat, duress, and coercion, Judge Boyd just smiles, says okay, and keeps going with the case. Each judge has a different style, but they all know how to shut down sovereign citizens who refuse to consent. And the best part is that we get to watch. Hi, I'm Mary Jador Blakeney, and this video may be the first of its kind. It's certainly a first for my channel. It combines two things I enjoy watching: debunking, on the Simon Dan channel, and sovereign citizens, the Law Talk with Mike channel. Now, to be clear, I'm not a lawyer, I'm an editor, so I'll be looking at these cases not from a legal perspective, but from a perspective of language and logic. But right now it's the 4th of July. They call it Rebellion Day in the Commonwealth, Independence Day here in America. It's the 249th anniversary of the day some people wrote to King George III of England, declaring that his colonies in America were now free and independent states. To celebrate, we're going to look at a few litigants who may have slightly misunderstood that Declaration of Independence.
Can I ask one question? What are the parameters that you're going to decide is practicing law versus helping somebody maintain their unalienable rights?
You took all of his inalienable rights, violated due process.
So you take a kid who's anxious, gave away all of his inalienable rights.
Let the record reflect that my appearance today is under explicit protest and duress, and solely for the purpose of challenging jurisdiction and preserving my inalienable rights as secured by the Constitution for the United States of America and the Constitution of the State of Kansas.
What do you think? Do we have unalienable rights? What are unalienable rights anyway? The phrase comes from the Declaration of Independence, which reads in part, "We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness." You've probably noticed I said unalienable and not unalienable. So let's unpack that. This is dictionary.com. The root word is alien. It's related to alienation, nothing to do with liens. The American colonists were saying that our human rights cannot be alienated from us. They cannot be taken away. So why are these defendants saying unalienable? Well, I can't speak for these two specifically. There is, well, see for yourself.
All court cases are actually commercial transactions, even if it's criminal.
Yeah. There are people on the internet telling us that the government just wants to take our money, and that if we find ourselves in legal trouble, even charged with non-financial crimes, it's nothing but a government shakedown. So now we have defendants going into court saying they have a right to keep the government from putting a lien against them. Meanwhile, this guy has a suggestion for where we should send our money instead.
We have a full description of this and these written instructions, as well as several other questions you can ask before the court in the premium member area.
Of course he has.
Okay, but there's more. The Declaration of Independence goes on to say that to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed. Now, I would interpret that to mean the reason governments have power is that most people prefer to have roads to drive on, to be able to call the police if somebody is trying to break into their house, to have enough order in the world that they can go to work, pick up their kids from school, and have a reasonable expectation of making it home alive. But apparently some people think it means that if you're the guy accused of the crime, or you're in court for whatever reason, the government has no power over you unless you give your consent. Let's see how well that works.
I don't mean to interrupt you, and I'm not going to interrupt you often during your opening statement. I do want you to know that because of the way the video feed works, from where you're standing, it's not picking you up. And I assume that the audio is going to work through for the district courtroom that's clipping it. But it's.
I'm content with all the people
Okay.
that are here that
All right,
reside on the land that most of us call Michigan. If that's who is bringing charges against me, and there is no person injured, there's no property damage, there should be no case. So my statement is that how can I put myself in your jurisdiction, except that you could do it by force and arrest me with 4 deputies with no due process and violate my unalienable rights? I guess I don't really need to be here because this is not a legitimate court that I should be standing in, and I will not violate my own oath by submitting myself to an authority that has not done the proper oath himself.
All right, Ms. Tate, Ms. Miller, your first witness.
Thank you, Your Honor. Before call.
Ms. Richmond, you may not leave the courtroom.
I appear specially, not generally, and I have not consented to this court's jurisdiction.
And once again, matter is set before Judge Webster on Monday, August 11, 2025, 9 a.m. by Zoom. There being nothing further to come before the court is in recess, and have a good day, Miss Leslie.
So, Mr. Jensen, you still wish to represent yourself in this matter?
I wish to have this case completely dismissed.
Well, everybody feels that way. Everybody else who wants their case dismissed, raise your right hand. Yeah, that's unanimous.
He informed me you wanted to place something on the record?
Yes, for the record, I wanted to make it known that I'm here on special appearance under threat, duress, and coercion.
Okay. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to recall your case in 1 month. If you didn't come to court to participate in court, please don't come back to my courtroom. So I've muted you, so therefore we can't even hear what you're saying. So let me be clear. If you have not come to court, because let me just be clear. Okay, well, you have a great day. Have a great day. If I didn't think someone had jurisdiction over me, I promise you, I would not even get out of my bed. I promise you. Let me say this. If a person did not have jurisdiction over me, if I believed that a person, that an entity did not have jurisdiction over me, I promise you, I would not get up out of my bed. I would not take a time off of work. I would not stop anything that I was doing for that day to come to court to say these things.